Welcome to Trump's Trade War, a new video series from The Hub looking at how President Trump's actions affect Canada and today the world. Today, I am joined by Jeff Sahadeo, a professor at the Institute of European, Russian, and Eurasian Studies at Carleton University. Jeff, how are you doing today?
Fine. Good, thanks. How about yourself?
I've been better. What a day it's been. We're going to show a clip from today. We witnessed one of the wildest press conferences, I think, in American history. It took place in the Oval Office. It was between Vice President J.D. Vance, President Trump, as well as President Zelensky of Ukraine. What was supposed to be the signing of a deal turned into something much different. Let's play a clip from that.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Say thank you.
I said a lot of
Except
to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on out there. I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire?
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
we'll guarantee it.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than a degree. It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
All right, so that was the day that was. Jeff, have you ever seen anything like this in your academic career?
Not in a Western press conference, no. I mean, we've seen Trump cross all kinds of lines and boundaries, but I think this is a whole other level for him. Not shocking, right? It's just building based on some of the other interactions he's had with world leaders, but this is really something new.
Given that it's Zelensky, I'm wondering, well, why do you think it got so heated? Why did it reach that level?
I think there's a few reasons for this. First of all, this question of gratitude that Trump always seems to be looking for from Western leaders, from any leaders, right? Except for the autocrats like Putin and Xi, that he believes that he has been, and the United States through him, has been benefiting the rest of the world to their expense, and that they deserve some gratitude and also some financial restitution, which is why this minerals deal was about to be signed. That's why Zelensky was there in the first place. Because Trump has this unusual relationship with Russian President Putin, he's ultimately inclined to be looking negatively towards Zelensky. And he just really can't believe that Zelensky isn't bowing at Trump's knee. Right. And I think the other president, we've seen Macron, we've seen Starmer come to the White House, and they've tried to alternate sort of bowing to the president, try some flattery. That's not really Zelensky's style, and Trump needs that flattery.
Dmitry Medvedev, former president of Russia, tweeted just a few minutes ago, "The insolvent pig finally got a proper slap down in the Oval Office, and Donald Trump is right. The Kiev regime is gambling with World War III." What do you think his colleague, Vladimir Putin, given that you study Russia, will think when he views that clip we just saw?
Well, Putin's been happy as a clam ever since Trump has been reelected. It hasn't necessarily translated directly into a ceasefire or to policy yet, but it's clear now that Putin feels that he holds the upper hand and that he could negotiate some kind of ceasefire in his terms, which basically means he would take at least the territories that Russia is holding now, and then having the U.S. out, really, the U.S. not giving security guarantees to Ukraine. So once Putin sort of restocks and reestablishes his own military position, he can just keep expanding.
So what does this mean for the war? Give us a sense of where the war stands now, and then, what the consequences of the meeting are for those front lines.
Well, the war is standing, it had already been standing in a poor position for Ukraine, and Ukraine is running out of people. running out of soldiers. Their demographics just don't support this. And Russia is losing men at a faster pace. But of course, they have about triple the population. Now they have North Korean troops coming in. Basically, every Ukrainian soldier who has any desire to fight, or any Ukrainian man who's any desire to fight of age, is on the front lines now. And so they're really down low on people. They're down low on ammunition. They're down on weapons. Some of our students at my university are hosting fundraisers so Ukrainian soldiers can buy medical equipment. It's really challenging for them. So I think before all of this happened, there was some sense in Ukraine that, well, maybe we just do need a ceasefire. And this is actually what Trump was saying in the clip you just showed. But some kind of ceasefire that allows for some assurances that 3 or 6 months from now, Putin just won't sweep into the rest of the country. And they don't have that right now. So Ukraine is sort of slowly losing the ground territorially. They still have a very strong, dedicated fighting force, but they definitely won't be able to win this war or gain territory back without very strong Western support.
So give me a sense, because we want to understand the other side and the Trump administration's approach here, what they would see as the inadvisability of the way, however they perceive Zelensky carried himself there. Trump saying, you don't have the cards. This argument that, we've spent tens of billions of aid on you and you should be groveling before us. You need to be grateful. You need to be happy that we're giving you anything, and you need to demonstrate to us that when you meet with us. What do you make of their approach there and their complaints about Zelensky's behavior?
Well, I understand, again, if we look at it from Trump's point of view, the fact that the U.S. has spent billions of dollars supporting Ukraine, and Europe has too. Canada spent a substantial amount of money, yet they don't see return on their investment. Like, the war is still going on, and we noticed even in American polling, right, and this happens in Europe too, going up to the election, people were less and less likely to support giving military aid to Ukraine, even though, right, this is what Trump is not saying, is that so much of this money that was spent, these hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, really supports the American defense industry. Mm-hmm. So it's actually in the benefit of the U.S. Industry. And this turns to Trump's very exclusivist vision, right? That he has this zero-sum game approach to foreign relations, as we see in Canada right now. And he can't really understand that both sides can benefit from, this case is quite different from the Canadian situation. But I think that's his idea, is that somebody is ripping him off, right? And we've seen this line for so long. And Ukraine is ripping him off, and that's why he wants their minerals. He wants something in exchange, and he thinks they're going to keep ripping him off because they're not going to sign a ceasefire without some kind of guarantee that they're not going to be conquered as in whole in a few months.
Talk about a zero-sum game, just to close things off here. What should we Canadians make of this? Days before what could be massive tariffs slapped down on our own economy. Looking at that behavior, what should we read into that?
Well, I think we just have to get prepared that we cannot control what Trump does. People have tried flattery. That only works for so long. People have tried confronting him. That just, as we saw today, right, that just throws him into a fit of rage. And he canceled the deal that Ukraine was supposed to make today for who knows how long. So he is not a dependable partner, right? We've known this before, but now we know. So even if, say, we somehow manage to negotiate something in the next few days that allows another 30-day delay for tariffs, sooner or later, right, he's going to keep coming back to the well and demanding more and more. So I think we just have to accept the fact that we're going to have to deal with Trump. We're going to have to deal with these tariffs, and we're going to have to rejig our economy. Just like in this case, Europe is now going to have to decide if they want to support Ukraine. They're going to have to be the ones to militarily step up, right? We've been kind of relying on the U.S. for a lot of things that we can't rely on them anymore. So it's a reckoning for us, right? It's really unfortunate for us, and a lot of people are going to suffer. But I don't think there's any way around it at this point. We're just going to have to get through it with this guy.
That is Jeff Sahadeo. He's a professor at the Institute of European, Russian, and Eurasian Studies at Carleton University. Stay here on this channel for coverage each day of how Trump's tariffs will unfold, how they'll affect Canada, and how his actions will affect the world over coming days.